Hello to you. I am ASMR Wheat. Hope I can make you feel calm, relaxed, and good today, even though it's just a video where I use my soft spoken voice to talk about my interests. Because for some of my subscribers enjoys videos where I just talk about my interests. So I don't expect this will be a very popular video. I expect it will just be for the very special interested, but I expect what it will be interesting for those who are interested in it, essentially, and not really anyone else. So I'll talk about Once Upon a Time and the Marvel Cinematic Universe today. So for those of you who just enjoy listening to me talking about my interests, well, there you go. Now, if you do enjoy this video, remember to click the like button, and if you're new to my channel and you actually enjoyed this, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you. But only if you enjoy it, of course. I think we'll just begin. Yeah. So behind me you can see Once Upon a Time. I think I'll just move all the ASMR equipment away and just... You can see this is the Once Upon a Time DVD casing with all 7 seasons, and Once Upon a Time is like the ultimate fantasy series for me. It's like the fantasy series I dreamt of when I was a child. It runs for 7 seasons and like around 150 episodes per, which 35 minutes per episode. I think it's like a really long-running fantasy series that ran from 2011 to 2018, if I'm not mistaken. And it's really, and the concept is that the evil queen from Snow White has essentially cast a dark curse on the fairy tale land and sort of made all the fairy tale characters sort of live cursed lives in Storybrooke in Maine of the US. So that they have sort of land in our world but can't remember their old lives. And then there's this character, the savior, who has to sort of break the curse, start believing, break the curse and sort of save them. And then there's lots of twists and stuff from there, you know. So as the seasons go, things develop. The characters overcome several dark curses, but light and good pretty much always triumphs in the end. It's the classic fantasy series stuff. There are lots of twists and turns throughout the various seasons. Sort of drama series as well, actually. But it's really enjoyable, and there are lots of enjoyable big bads and villains in the series. You know, Regina, or the Evil Queen, is just the first major big bad. There comes even worse people than her later. But she's still one of the most important, but even after the first season, she still remains like one of the most important characters in the show, and one of the most intriguing. It's a great series, really, I think so, with many great mid-season finales and season finales, and lots of interesting twists and turns, and you know, it's like the stakes are gradually raised, so every big bad we encounter is often have a tendency to be even worse than the last big bad. Not always, but often at least. And you know, I even season 7 features some of the old characters and a lot of different new characters, but I enjoy even that season, and I really just love the series final and the final season 6, which sort of concludes the old series. I enjoy it. I think it's a great series, really. So yeah, and many of my favorite villains are from this series. Okay, then you have the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and here you can see one of my favorite movies of all time, Avengers Endgame. So this is like the culmination and conclusion of the Infinity Saga, and it's part 2 of the Avengers Infinity War storyline, really. So for us, it sees the Avengers come to final confrontation with the big bad of the Infinity Saga, Thanos, who has been on a quest to gather all the Infinity Stones and decimate half of our life in the universe. It's really an intriguing story, and Thanos is also one of my favorite villains. Thought I'd just talk about it. I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I know not all people do, but I actually even enjoy most of Phase 4. I have not seen enough of Phase 5 to judge that yet, so I will not say a lot about that, but I enjoy even most of Phase 4. And I enjoy some of the turns the Multiverse Saga has taken, but I do not agree with the approach to not have an Avengers movie conclude each phase, because even if an Avengers movie is poorly received, an Avengers movie will still generate so much interest. But I think it's a great mistake to not have an Avengers movie, or at least a crossover superhero movie at the end of a phase. So I don't agree with the approach we did with Phase 4 to not have any sort of crossover event at the end. I think that was a mistake. Because it raises the stakes, it connects the various characters together, it makes things feel more meaningful, and I think the 4 last Avengers movies, like the first Avengers, Avengers Age of Ultron, Avengers Infinity War, and Endgame, they served as culminations of their paces, and that was great. Whereas Phase 4 has no true culmination, which is, I don't agree with it. And now Phase 5 at the very least has the Thunderbolts, so that gets more of a team-up culmination movie, and I'm glad, because it's a great mistake to not have any type of crossover movie in any way. Even if it's not Avengers, at least have it be some form of team. So thankfully Thunderbolts can hopefully fill that place for Phase 5. And then of course Avengers, Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars will fill that place for Phase 6. I'm a little uncertain. I know that Kang the Conqueror is sort of the big bad in the MCU at the moment, but I'm a little uncertain if he's actually going to be the big bad of Secret Wars. I can't help but wonder if Doctor Doom and the Beyonder is going to show up in Secret Wars instead, and sort of take over the mantle as big bad after Kang. I really look forward to see where the story is going, but hopefully we'll rely more on crossover movies as culmination of the paces in the future. It can be Young Avengers, Thunderbolts Avengers, but just have a crossover movie at the end of a pace. Don't repeat what was done in Phase 4, because I don't think it was wise. But that's just my opinion, of course. Also, I just want to add that at the end of Avengers Age of Ultron, and I actually enjoyed Age of Ultron, but at the end of Avengers Age of Ultron, Thanos sort of took his hand in the Infinity Gauntlet and said fine, I'll do it myself. And it looked like he was about to spring into action. And when it takes 3 years until he actually springs into action, there's a meme about this even. What in the... I get that Thanos may have waited to some of the more powerful players, like the Ancient One and Odin and stuff was gone, but still, did he just take on the gauntlet for the rule of cool, or for the fun of it, and just wear it for 3 years time, just for looking cool? Sorry. I actually don't mind so much. I just find it a little funny. I love the MCU, so this is not criticism, it's just an observation. I just find it a little hilarious. I just sort of imagine Thanos waltzing around in his station ship thingy for 3 years with the gauntlet, and just sort of impressing the children of Thanos, and impressing his followers with it, just to sort of look cool for 3 years. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I will also add that Ultron really has the potential to be a great villain and big bad. I've heard he's supposed to return in Armor Wars, and I hope Ultron really returns as a big bad in the future, because Ultron can actually be an even worse big bad than Thanos or Kang even. In What If series at the end, you saw what Ultron was truly capable of given the chance. And so I I think so. So while I enjoyed Ultron's portrayal and performance in Age of Ultron, Ultron has so much more potential, and I hope he will use Ultron as a big bad in the future, because I think Ultron has great potential, like an overarching big bad, and not just like this one movie of villain. I think Ultron needs to be used in as more than just an one-off movie villain. He needs to be a big bad in the future, because that's Ultron's potential actually. Like Ultron has the potential to be far more terrifying than even Thanos. So yeah, and so yeah, and I enjoyed the portrayal of Ultron, but perhaps I realize, of course, that Ultron may have been a little underutilized and not presented as a dangerous assembled want in the Age of Ultron movie, but I believe that the MCU in the future can correct that. The end of the What If series just showed Ultron's true potential as a major big bad, if he gets the chance, and I hope he does. Anyway, that was just me randomly babbling about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I hope you guys just enjoyed this movie. And I can also add that I've heard rumors about Iron Man's return. Now, I wouldn't, seeing as it's the multiverse saga, if it's another version of Iron Man, I wouldn't mind it if it happened. I'm not sure it will happen, because rumors can be false, but it can be true too. But if it does, it needs to be handled with great care, so as to not undermine what happened in Endgame. But I wouldn't mind if Iron Man returned, given it was treated and handled properly, at least. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a blessed, divine, great day, and thank you for listening.